going on, man? How you been?
Super good, man.
Yeah?
Welcome to Vegas.
Yeah,
I'm at your podcast, but welcome to Vegas.
Welcome to my place in Vegas.
Very lovely home you got.
It's just an Airbnb. I actually just got it so I could practice my golf game.
Oh, right here?
I got some
There you
tees
go.
over here.
Very good. There's a good place to golf here in Vegas.
Yeah, man. So how you been? What have you been up to lately?
Things are really good, man. Excited. I'm doing a lot of travel.
You came in with a smile on your face. I just want everybody to know, like, you walked through the door and you're like, dude, I am so excited for everything going on. And
I'm pumped. Things are good. Life is good. I laugh at the silly little things. I was just watching a video on Borat. Did you watch Borat?
I don't watch Borat.
I was gonna do my impression of Borat, but I'm not gonna do it. But people who know me know that I love that movie.
Do it.
It's silly. It's about like my wife. This guy, very nice, so much. And anyways, like this guy does this amazing impression, and his wife always gets upset. So he's like, "I want you to be normal with my friends. I want to be together." And then he put a hidden camera, and he's doing the same thing over and over. And anyways, it's just super funny. And then you caught me like just laughing. Life is good when you laugh, man.
Yeah,
it's a universal language.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
So we actually were planning to do this like 2 days from now.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey man, plans change. I'm going to Chicago.
Yeah, I'm flying to Chicago
tomorrow. So we had to really rebook this right now. That's why we're in the backyard and not in like the proper setup. But what's going on in Chicago?
So you thank you for being flexible, the setup, I'm messaging him, and then you tagged me. I was like, guess who, what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I was like, oh my God, the podcast is this Friday. And I literally had just booked the flight. I got other things going on tomorrow, but tomorrow for Friday for Chicago. So I'm going to be going in because I'm going to be sort of like pitching in a proposal for a new beverage company. I can't divulge what it is yet.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited. So before I started my companies, I actually worked for Essential Water. I don't know if you know that
okay.
Alkaline water and
gotcha, like good pHs,
excellent hydration. That water company sold for I think the disclosed amount I can't say, but for hundreds of millions of dollars.
You were an employee there?
Yeah, I was the last person to actually get shares in the company, the last employee before I came in, and a tiny fraction. So, but the point is, like, this water company like just taught me so much about growing a brand, a beverage, what it is, and so 5-6 years later, I just discovered by accident this amazing product, and I'm involved in brand building for so long that. And once I see something special, I was like, this is remarkable. And so I came in with the idea. I was like, hey, we can help you grow your brand. I got the in-motion media. I got the mobile billboards. I can help you with social media. We can help you in marketing. Well, what ended up happening of me pitching to the owner, he fired back. He's like, how would you like to be, part of the company and take this to the next level? And I was like, oh crap, like that involves like a lot more work than just doing the work. That involves actually being a part of a brand from the ground up. So that's why I'm flying to Chicago.
So when you reached out to him, let me ask you this. When you reached out to him, did you approach him like, hey, can I work for you? Or did you approach him like, I just want to help?
No, I wasn't trying to work with him. So I was trying to offer the services of my company to help him grow a brand. So because I have the mobile billboards, I have ads all over the country, I can help brands grow on their social media.
Yep.
His social media is not the strongest suit. I know about digital advertising, retargeting. So anyways, I came up to being like, hey, these are all of my services. This is all I can do. And so he basically said like, two things are going to happen. He said, I either going to hire you, and I'm going to be your client, and that's going to be that, or I don't pay you anything, and then you put your own money, and then you help me grow this company.
Nice.
And so for the second time in my life, I'm putting all my chips and trying to grow a company.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So is it can you like divulge is it like water? Are we talking energy drinks?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit on it. So it's a brand new category. It doesn't exist. So it would be like when you first heard seltzer. Okay, well, what is seltzer? Or when you first, or wine or beer or energy
water.
Drink. What did you say?
Ranch water.
Ranch water. Is that a category?
Yeah, it's like a seltzer.
What is ranch water, bro?
It's alcohol. It's like basically just like like a really easy to drink alcohol.
But so this beverage has some alcoholic products and some non-alcoholic products. So it's got, I guess, both gamuts. So it's perfect. And I'll give you even more since you're been very kind with welcoming me here. they created and patented the fermented process of honey. So this has all to do with honey.
Oh.
So they own beehives in large scale, and they can create actually like Moscow mules out of fermented honey, and they can create drinks that are alcoholic in nature by a process of fermenting the honey. And then they have non-alcoholic beverages that just taste incredible. It really is like mind-bending how good this is. And everything is vertically integrated. And the founder and myself, we connected in so many levels, from the spiritual to the way we take care of our health, to the vision of a company, to I think that's probably why he offered me this.
Yeah. So
this opportunity.
I'm seeing some partnerships happen with Texas Ranchettes, our little 20-acre subdivides that we happen. You know, the ranchettes we're building out. One of the great things to keep the agriculture exemption is to put bees on it.
Are you serious?
So imagine locally sourcing bees in Texas to make, you know, different alcohols, different drinks, fermenting them.
So maybe it was meant for me to start voicing it and putting it out to the universe, because I really don't talk about this. I haven't. It really is new. I'm going to Chicago. Nothing is concrete yet. So the reason why I'm going to Chicago is because I am making my proposal. This is what I think I can bring to the table. This is my, you know, financial commitment, my commitment to the company. And
so where do they get their honey from? This is something I'm more interested in the honey than the drink now.
So well, the honey is incredibly important. It's the main part of the business. So they got their places right now. I'm gonna go visit the plants where they're also gonna be doing the canning. There's a lot that I'm new on the outside because I'm not in the company yet. But eventually I will be able to divulge a lot more information. And obviously, like, if there's an opportunity for us to partner up in any type of growth.
Yeah, definitely. So my
you're a man of character, so yeah.
my parents' farm, we actually have a bunch of beehives on the property. We allow a company to come in because we have alfalfa fields, we have corn. Alfalfa is really good for producing honey because it flowers like 3 or 4 times a year. So the bees fly around, pollinate everything, able to go back to the hive, right? So I don't know how many we have. I don't want to say an exact number, but I would say we probably have 20 like stacks of hives in different parts of our property. And then every year the agreement is they give us like 2 to 3 big jars of honey. You know, like, I mean, like,
like natural, like, it's so good,
like,
huh?
It's not like a little can. It ain't this big. It's like
Winnie the Pooh jar, man.
Yeah, exactly. And we get like 3 to 4 of those, depending on like how much they produce every year.
Okay.
And then, you know, we always give one to my grandparents and then like one of my other grandparents and keep one for ourselves.
Do you know, like, selling in smaller jars for like farmers markets or anything like that?
We just keep it for ourselves. Like, you know, we do a lot of like biscuits and stuff, biscuits and honey, you know, so.
Biscuits and honey.
And every once in a while they have like new products that they come out with. So they give us one of those and that's the agreement. They'd get to take basically all the revenue off of it and they just provide us honey. It's just, we just throw it in the field and it's, you know, it helps us as farmers because the plants need to cross-pollinate. So
the bee is an amazing, most people don't realize how incredible this little insect is to humanity, like what they do and what they represent and the whole collectors of how they work. And I've always been sort of like drawn into it and have studied them, but not to the depth of this man. Like this man is a gigantic like bee lover.
Yeah, and honeybees are what you want. Like you don't want wasp and like ground hornets and like that kind of thing. Like honeybees are like the most perfect like type of bee you want. Like we have tons of wildflowers at the ranch.
What is a Manuka honey? Do you know the difference between regular honey and Manuka honey? So there, as I'm learning, he's kind of developing me and teaching me these things. But this guy is the kind of guy where there was a bee that like stopped literally when people are having like just lunch on him, and most people would like flick away the bee, and then he goes like, like most people are afraid of bees. They think they're just gonna sting you. Bees don't want to die. If they sting you, they die. So, and bees know this. In their 3-week life, they don't want to sting you and cut it short. You know, they only live 3 weeks. So he's like, it's rare that a bee would stop on a person. It must need something. So he literally took the bee, carried it in his hand. And so the guy he was with started like filming, and you can see him getting into the car, and he opens up like a little thing, takes out one blueberry, cuts the blueberry open and starts feeding the bee with a blueberry. In the video, you can see like the little things that come out from the bee and start like eating from the blueberry. and I was watching the video, I was like, you really have some love and patience for that bee. He's like, yeah, all you need is a little bit of water, a little bit of food. And then like took the bee and put it on the flower. And that wasn't unscripted. Like it just happened and someone got it on video. And I was like, that's the kind of partner that I want to be with. Someone that takes care of the mission. Like, what's one bee? You can just flick it. But the dedication to one bee tells you the dedication to the beehive, right?
Definitely.
So there's collective synergy of like we're all working for the same goal purpose.
Have you seen the movie The Beekeeper?
Which one's The Beekeeper?
It's like this movie where like
Beekeeper.
Yeah, it's like this organization that's like more advanced and more like better than the CIA.
No, and I kind of feel like I would need to see it.
But they're all beekeepers. Like that's what they do when they're not like out in the field. They're like taking care of the hive.
Oh, is that what it is?
And
that's
like
cool.
It keeps referencing like parts of the movie. You know, when they're like, "You mess with my hive, now you're dead." You know, like, after that movie, I'm like, man, I want to be a beekeeper now.
It looks pretty badass, man.
Yeah.
So I started following all these pages on Instagram about bees and learning and everything. And I'm trying to prepare myself mentally and emotionally. Growing a brand is a very intricate process. Because you can say, okay, what's one more drink in the market? There's 8 million beverages. Everybody's trying to do something different. What's different about this one? How do you carry that message? What does it look? What does it represent? What is the mission? There's so many components. Where do you start? Do you start sampling? Do you start, telling people about it? Do you start posting on Instagram? Like, there are so many components of it. My presentation deck is about 60 pages. So I want to walk him through, some ideas that I have, and this is like, making it concise. Like those 60 pages is as concise as I could be, just explaining the breadth that it takes to grow a brand. Yeah. So I was very fortunate that I got to be a part of a huge creation of a brand like Essential Water, and so the build out, and so the brand identity, and so the partnerships and influencer marketing and dropping this and handing it water for the first time to people who've never seen it, showing the label, just so many things that go behind it. And maybe that was the architect of creation. That was the purpose of putting me through that, building my own agency, my own company, and now being in a position where I can offer all these services. And he's like, well, do you want to tag along on this? And I was like, oh, crap. Okay, well, we'll see.
That's the cool thing about business. Like once you like perfect and you're really good at something, now you have that ability to invest in businesses through your skill.
Don't get me wrong. I'm scared. I'm shitting my pants because it's everything that I've saved and put it in. And essentially what it comes down to is betting on yourself again. Yep. So how confident are you in what you're going to deliver? Because this is talking about like working for 3 to 5 years with zero pay, with all my money in. Yep. So how many people do you know that would put all their money in and not get paid for the next 3 to 5 years?
I know one guy.
That's because you're like this. That's because you're willing to bet on yourself, and you know what you have, and you know what the product that you have actually benefits and helps other people. Yeah. So, anyways, like that's the reason why I'm going to Chicago. So this should be a part 2 about what.
Tell me a little bit more. So this is one of the questions I was actually going to ask Ryan later today. But tell me more about like your thought process or like your methodology when you start looking at a new opportunity to invest in. Like this one, I know this one was a little bit different, but what's your thought process? What are you looking for when you look at a new opportunity?
Got it. So I mean, I invest in different things. So I invest in the stock market, I invest in crypto, I invest in real estate, I invest in LED screens, and now I guess I'm going to be investing in beverages. So all of them kind of take like a different concept. I have to be, if it's not obvious already by the bee story, like I have to be passionate about like the product, and I have to understand the back end. I was like, this has potential. So my first thought would come like, does this have legs to grow? Or a lot of times I see something, I was like, if they did this, they would get much better results. So in my mind, I already started like making corrections of what they should be doing. And I'm sure you probably do it, if people are in real estate, they do that. Like they shouldn't have put those tiles. They shouldn't have done those things. Like the more that you do real estate deals, then the better you start seeing when somebody else does it wrong. So that's how I start seeing it. So I see social media that's not done properly. I was like, if this person only did these things, it would help them out. And
Yep.
we actually did some. Did we post already your video?
I don't think so.
Have we not posted this video? So we go, we review people's social media accounts that comment and you made some changes because I just said, if you make these few changes on your social media, like
yeah, no,
it already starts creating a brand.
It was one of your videos. You were like, hey, and if you should change your profile to be like very consistent. And I was looking through my profile and I was like, my profile's not consistent.
It's everywhere.
And I was like, all right, it's happening. I hit my creative strategist up. And I'm like, this is what we're doing. We're going to change it up. And thank God he's like the graphic design god.
It looks great.
Yeah, he went through and he just like,
it looks good.
We started rechanging everything across colors, platforms
and everything. And so I'm not wearing this just because we're outside, but actually it does help. But I was wearing a white shirt before.
Yep.
Because we didn't know we were gonna film. And on my brand, I'm always like wearing black with the hat and everything. So that's why I put this shirt on. Not, once you're consistent on a brand, that's what matters. That's why the colors of a brand, how they represent. So I started analyzing these things. So my process is first like, can it be tweaked and can it be better? And does it have scalability? Let's say that kale water, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that most people, broccoli water. I was like, okay, well, maybe the market for broccoli water might be very small. I like broccoli, but I don't know if I like broccoli water. But then I was like, okay, honey water, like that's such an amazing product. And then you combine it, okay, now it's got this little like bubbly, effervescent like taste. And I was like, this is great. I was like, most people don't know this exists. And then he goes like, well, I hold the patent for the process and nobody can take it. And I was like, oh my God, this is enormous opportunity. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, like I evaluate opportunities like that. Like, can it be tweaked? And is there something I know that by making those tweaks will make it better? And does it have scalability? Can I scale it, sort of replicate that process? So
yeah, definitely. That's very interesting. I'm excited to taste it now. You don't have anything with you, do you?
No, I don't. So, and because it is still on the early stage, the product is finalized, but because the distribution is not fully known, you can get it online. And after this, I'll give you like
you have to share the link with me. I'm gonna order like 3 cases.
Honestly, it's so good. I can't undersell it because I tasted it. I was like, this is incredible. And so I literally sat watching this person taste it with other people, and I was watching people's reactions, and I was like, I could see it. Now, I don't drink alcohol, so there's 5 flavors that have alcohol, so then I would just watch how people reacted to those.
No, I'll be your guinea pig.
And yeah, but see, like now you kind of a little bit primed because I told you a little bit about it. But if I didn't, and I just brought these things to you, you'd be like, oh, I've never seen this, and you chugged it, you'd be like, man, that's damn good. Like that's what I'm looking for a non-primed response. What do the consumer react without like me taking notes? All right, well, you're my friend, you better like it because I put money, on it. So obviously, honest feedback is the most important.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the link. I would find it very, very hard to believe that if you don't like the taste of it, because I've seen it in the hundreds.
Well, if I don't like the taste of it, it's because it didn't come right from the right wildflowers in Texas, and that's where we need to make sure it happens.
That's it. I see you going back in. I see you looping it back. Hey, listen, I'm not part of anything yet, but once we're in, I'll make the introductions. And again, he's like a great dude. So yeah, that's one of the things on the process. What about you? What's your process for?
I always like look at it from, do I know anything about this first? Right. So like you said, passion. I guess I do look at it from a passion point, but first I look at it from, do I know anything about this? I can be passionate about a lot of things and not know anything about them. Right. Like I'm passionate about, honey. Yeah. Because I like how it's grown and how it's, cultivated, but I'm not like, I don't know any knowledge about it. So first I ask like, do I know anything about it? And then therefore, can I help them in some way? And then also, would I help them for free? Right. So if I'm willing to help them for free, because it's going to get to a point where like, it's not going to be fun anymore to go to work. Right. It's going to get down to where, it's like, oh man, I'm tired of doing this. I'm tired of doing this job. But if I would do it for free, then that means I'd be happy to go to work every day. So that's another thing I look at too. So I'm actually not working with yet, but I'm interested in this deal. I know nothing about the actual business, but I know about some land that this guy has, and he wants to create the business. So I like that opportunity because he knows everything about the business that they're creating on this, 100+ acre property.
Wow.
But he needs help with the land side.
See, you're almost mirroring what I'm saying. You're seeing potential.
Yeah.
And you analyze something that, okay, I like what is happening over here. I think this could go in a different direction, and let me help him because he's got something that, I like. And so it's very similar. It's very, very similar.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like with there's this one opportunity. If he's like, hey man, we can't pay you, like we don't have those funds, I'd be like, whatever, dude. Like let's just let's get this created for you because I see the potential of your business. And if your business succeeds, like I will reap rewards no matter what. Like the amount of help I give you in this area of land, once it's successful, maybe 10 years, 20 years down the road, I mean, it's the delayed gratification, right? Of helping them. And I think a lot of business people don't take that into account is the delayed gratification. How does this help me now is what a lot of people think. How does this help me in the next 5 months? And I'm
Most people don't think 10 to 20 years spam. Like that's remarkable. Most people's like expectation of things like, hey, with 6 months return, what's my 12 months? I was like, what about 10 years?
Yeah.
Like, do I think this business in 10 years is going to be worth more, or this land or this property or this stock? Then it doesn't matter what happens today, tomorrow, the stock market changes, price of the market crashes. Like, will it be more in 10 years? Will it be more in 20 years?
Yep.
Almost invariably, the decisions that I make, it's a yes. Like in 20 years, very likely that a property that I bought at the top of, 2019 or whatever, people like, even if it's down right now, like most likely in 10, 15 years, that's going to be much higher.
Yeah.
So then I am, impressed when people actually talk in 10 to 20 years.
Well, and that's what I've been noticing the more podcasts I do, people ask me about my deal and I'm like, yeah, it was a 3 to 4 year plan. And they're like 3 to 4 years, like you weren't making any money until the 3 to 4 year mark. I was like, well, I'm making money now because I had to figure out how to make money. But that property, when I closed on it, I had no plans of making money until year 4. It was, because it was going to be over $1 million. By the time I had nothing, right? So 4 years out was just 4 years out. It was just time at that point, right? So if I can, and that's what I looked at. I was like, if I can make $1 million in 4 years, why wouldn't I do this?
Yeah,
right?
you chop it out. It was $250,000 every year. That's a pretty good salary.
That's pretty good salary for most people. And actually,
everyone in the U.S. really will, you know.
Oh yeah.
When the average is 60,000 a year, $250,000 is 4 times that.
And that's like even when I worked at the utility company before I got into real estate, I was an employee. When we first started that company, or they started that company, I should say, I was their first employee. I think this was like 2018. I went to them as their first employee and said, hey, look, you can pay me less. You can give me, I'm willing to invest as much as I have. I'm willing to go all in on this business you guys are creating. I said, I'll eat tuna for the next 5 years if I have to. Like that's all I have to eat just so I can have some equity in this company. And they eventually said no. But like,
you're willing to.
Yeah, I was willing. I was literally willing to eat tuna for every day of my life or chips or whatever, just to get to that point for 5 years to realize some equity, because I knew if I was a part owner, I'd have some stake in it. I could do things I wanted to do. I could revolutionize some different processes. And when I was there, we grew that company from, with the help of other people, not just me, but we grew that company from 0 employees to 42 employees in like 3 years. And then
growth.
Then I went back and I said, hey, give me some equity. I want some equity.
Yeah, now you got
now
something
I've shown you
show.
what I can. I wanted in the beginning. I want it now. And they were like, no. And I'm like, all right, then I'm out. You're not getting any more help. And then like 8 months later, they ended up having to sell out to a different company because they couldn't make it work anymore.
So now you know your weight, you know what you carry and what you bring to the thing. What you're talking about, like working and not getting paid. Who was it? Was it Napoleon Hill with the Think and Grow Rich, where he was just finding like the richest, people at the time and no pay. He's like, just come hang out with me. And for many years he did it without pay. And he's looking back, he's like, would you do that? Would you work for somebody for all these years for free? Then he took on those learnings and then wrote, what's probably the best-selling book in finance.
I think one of the biggest failures I made in my life was thinking that way, but not having realistic expectations at the end, right? So with that utility company, what I decided was, okay, they don't want to give me equity, but I will show them how much I'm worth. Therefore, at some point, they'll give me equity. And I think a lot of people actually do that. They're like, I'm going to work here. I'm going to work my butt off, and then I'll be able to convince them, especially in companies. If those owners are saying no from the beginning, they're not going to say anything different after 3 years, right? And that was my problem. I always went to work for these companies, and I was like, I can just show them. Where I should have been having a plan B earlier on. Like if they don't give me X by a certain date, then that's great. But during this time period, I'm going to learn skills and save money. That way, when they say no, I can go do this other thing that I've been learning about.
But I was just go somewhere else.
Yeah, but I was so heavily invested in showing them, I never had that plan B.
Well, taking your skills, like that's what's cool. Going back full circle, like I learned these skills over here in this company, and I applied them in my current business, and then I can take those learnings and now apply it into a different.
Let's switch gears a little bit. Content related. I mean, you're a master of content. What areas are you innovating in content right now?
Wow, that's awesome the way you kind of phrase it. So I should go back because you now know me like as the person that has the branded backpack with the, hold on.
Yeah, put it on.
Can the camera see this?
Put it right up here.
Can the camera see that? I don't know. It's kind of flashing the thing. But anyways, people, if you haven't seen the Chava backpack, you don't follow me then. That's pretty much because
somebody take a picture.
I sleep with this. I shower with my backpack.
Is it actually waterproof?
It is waterproof. But I don't shower with it.
Dude, you need to take a reel of you showering with it.
Yeah. Hey guys. Oh, you know what? That might be great. I should take out the laptop. So
day in the life.
It's actually fully functional. Padded in the back. It's got some nice like straps in the back, secret pockets, interior for wallet, different things, bottles. Like it's just a great functional backpack that actually has my Instagram on it. And it started with me just going to different conferences and wearing my backpack. But at first I was taking pictures with people, and then I would put, if you and I take a picture, then I would put our picture on the backpack.
Nice.
And then I would walk in front and we would get people's reactions of them seeing themselves on the backpack. And so then eventually I took pictures with some, famous people like Patrick Bet-David and a lot of the people that speak on stages of the conference that we go to. And then I went to like a social media, and there's all these TikTokers with millions of followers that I don't know who they are, but I know their audience was huge.
Yeah.
So everybody's taking pictures with them. But the moment that I took a picture and then I put it on the backpack, then they saw themselves on the backpack. So then they took a picture of us on the backpack, and then they posted it. It's kind of like an inception. It was like a picture of a picture, and that started growing on the social media. And then, and then I paid to be in the big rooms. I paid to be in the penthouses. I paid to be in the masterminds. And I just wanted to kind of like get all the knowledge from everybody that was doing it.
Your first backpack, was that something you just put like an iPad on a backpack, or was it an actual product and you were like, I can use this for marketing?
Yeah, no, it was a product that it wasn't meant for marketing. It was more meant for like raves. So when you go on a rave and you go to EDC and people can find you or whatever. And then after that, I started just taking it. And then what started happening is, because I do travel so much to different cities, like people would be like, hey, were you like at the Dallas airport? Like, were you at this Miami conference? Like, I saw you here in Vegas. And I was like, people do notice the backpack. And that's kind of how it started. But my first videos and my first reels were just me talking on my phone, talking to my 7 followers who were watching my video.
Yeah.
And I had like less than 1,000 followers then.
Well, how long ago was that?
It's less than 2 years.
Really?
So in June it's gonna be about 2 years. So it's funny because
7 followers 2 years ago to what, 207,000 followers?
Something like that. I didn't actually have 7 followers. I have maybe like 800 or 900. But as a joke, I grabbed my phone. I said, to the 7 people that are actually gonna watch this, and I was in my car and I was just coming out of the gym, and then that video actually, I said, I'm gonna become an influencer. That's what I said.
Yeah.
And people were, a lot of friends from high school and different people that I just didn't even know they were following me. Because for the previous year, I only posted 2 pictures. Like, I wasn't active on social media. I was building the company, so I wasn't really posting. And then once I got like some positive feedback, and once you get some likes and
Yeah.
comments, so then the next day I did another video, and in my garage, and then that video also performed very well. So I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna go all in on this social media thing, and that's how it started. So then I started posting 1, 2, 3 videos. Actually, this morning I posted a reel, and Instagram sent me a badge. Congratulations, this is your 500 reel. So they give you
Nice.
badges for reels that
Yeah.
you make. So I pretty much have been consistently making reels on a daily basis for almost 2 years.
That's crazy. Yeah. I always think it's really like wild when like people from high school or people that from your hometown, like I grew up in North Dakota, right?
Oh, you
So
did?
like,
I didn't know that. Okay.
yeah, I grew up in a small town called Hazel, North Dakota. Like 25.
Shout out to Hazel, North Dakota.
Hazel, North Dakota.
Shout out to the 7 people from Hazel, North Dakota.
You're gonna offend all of them. They're like, that's 2,500.
Yeah.
No, I grew up there, and like people either in different grades or my grade, like it's a small town. Everybody kind of knows everybody. So like when I think about content, I'm thinking about like reaching, my avatar, or people I want to sell land to, or people that need help bring skills that I don't have into my business.
Mm-hmm.
And every once in a while, like people that I know from Hazen will reach out and be like, hey, can I help? And I'm like, oh, like I haven't talked to you in like 15 years. And they're like, dude, I love your content. Like, and I'm like, just blows my mind that they're watching, right? Like
when you look at your actual views and your reels or whatnot, and you see 3,000, 5,000, I'm like, oh man, I'm not getting 20,000. What?
Yeah.
But 5,000, you could not fit here. Like that's a small,
yeah,
a small match, like small game. Like that's something that could pack. And when I see some videos that do 20, 30, 50,000, I was like, holy crap, that's a full stadium.
yeah.
And just like you were mentioning, it happened to me this week. Exactly. Someone from college, almost 15, 20 years ago. And I had no idea. And I didn't recognize her, but she shot me a text. I was like, I don't know who you are. And when she called me, I picked up the phone. She's like, look at your messages. And I recognized her face, but she had married. So her last name was a different one. So I was like, I can't believe it. She's like, I've been following you from the beginning. And I was like, I really haven't talked to you or seen you or anything in over 15 years for sure. And it was a complete, like, they just feel connected to you.
Yeah.
You don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
And it's weird now when it happens like that. Like it's, because you just think you're just posting it.
Yeah.
But people do watch.
And you see the view count go up and you see the likes, but like, I don't know, it's just so wild. I always think, you know what's crazy? One of my very first videos that I posted. So one of my friends was like, hey man, you start doing content. It's like the new way. This is 2018, 2019. No, excuse me. 2000, I think it was 2021.
Okay.
He's like, you need to start doing content. So I was like, what do I shoot? And he's like, just show videos of you walking land. Like while you're walking around this land, just do videos. So I was actually down in Castroville, and I was on this property, and he had a fish tank. It was like a 200-acre property at a fish pond. And he threw some food out into the fish pond, and like 200 catfish came up and were start eating this food. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let me get this on video. So like the video is just me pointing it at the pond as he's throwing a scoop out. And I think I started it like right after the scoop went out. And he's like, yeah, there's bluegills. He's talking in the background. I'm not even like, it's all like natural. There's bluegills and catfish in there. And he's like, this really Southern accent. And it was maybe 6 or 8 seconds long. And I just threw it up. Didn't think anything of it. 6.5 million views later. I was like, what is going on here?
Are you serious?
Yes.
That is
one
awesome.
Of my very first
my
videos
God.
had 6.5 million. And I posted on Facebook. I had like
You're onto something.
maybe 100 followers before this. I had 10,000 followers after that.
From this one single video.
This one single video. But
what a cool story.
What I realized very quickly is these people weren't interested in me. They were interested in the catfish.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I literally had like everybody that has ever caught a bass in their life following me on Facebook, right?
Because it went viral.
Yeah,
That's such a
it got
great
shared
thing.
through like Facebook groups about fishing, like in Arizona, Nevada, and Texas, Missouri, like all these huge groups. And I just kept getting followers.
Wow.
And it was funny, like one of the things they were mad about in the comments was they thought the fish were like sucking for air because there wasn't enough oxygen. I don't know anything about this, but like they're like, there's not enough oxygen in that pond. There's too many fish.
When you have that many views, you're always gonna have somebody that's talking smack, man.
Yeah, well, there was only one comment. There was like 40,000 likes on this one comment, and I'm like, guys, I don't know. Like we were throwing fish in, like we didn't see any before this. Like just to clear it up.
Like an 8-second
reel.
Like
just chill, like you know.
Wow, the internet is the wild,
dude.
wild west, man.
But what I realized from that is like I was like, man, this is cool. If I can do something like this, but with me as like the point person, and I can achieve 6.5 million.
You gotta jump in the pond and swim out?
Yeah. Sculpting for air out of the pond.
Just be like a remake of your best performing video and then just come out of the pond, man. I'll film it for 8 seconds.
Dude, that would be so
Tell me that wouldn't be hilarious.
Have a bunch of like different clips of me around the pond, like
2021, 2024, and then there you are coming out. I think that would do well, man.
But even then, like it's not really like, I mean, then they're just following me for like laughs, right? Which is good.
But at least they'll know who you are. See, you got to get eyeballs in order for them to know what you do.
Yep.
So that's something that I learned. So this is like, that's how it is. The backpack is just to get people to follow me, to know who I am, or to at least land on my page. Because if I'm trying to sell a service or being able to help or whatever it is, like I need them to know that I exist. So then you need to throw that net, catch people, catch the eyeballs, and then be like, okay, this is the things that I offer. Does any of these help you? Any of these things that I do help you? But so sometimes these silly videos and I learned early on, and thanks to JC for this, because he my first video that got, I don't know, tens of thousands of views, nowhere near a 6 million view, but it was me ordering food at Chipotle. And I was like, I'm supposed to be educating people on marketing. I was like, people don't want to know what the hell I'm eating at Chipotle. And sure enough, like I ordered the Chipotle and they wouldn't let us film inside. So literally you just cause me like coming into Chipotle, I want to make this order, blah, blah, blah. And then there's no film of me actually ordering the food. Then we start filming again when I get my bowl and I split the bowl into two, and how I created 2 bowls out of one essentially. And then that, I don't know, got tens of thousands of views. And I was like, this is crazy. Because I was at the very beginning when I was trying to get, 500 views, 1,000 views, 2,000, and 5,000 would have been an enormous hit for me at the beginning. 30,000+ was like, holy crap. Like, and I don't own Chipotle. I'm not selling anything, but I got eyeballs onto thing. And then eventually you start working in the brand and they start recognizing you and they're like, what do you do again? And that's what this is. The backpack is it's basically a lead magnet.
Yep.
I capture people's attentions, then they look me up, and people have stopped me on the airport. I was like, is this you? And then like, oh yeah, I mean, I'm gonna follow you right now. Like I sell solar, I do this. Can you help me with this? Like, sure. And then that's how it works.
I feel like everybody wearing a cowboy hat through airports throughout the United States one day is going to be like, hey, are you Big Price? They'll be like, no, I don't know who you are. I don't know who that is.
The guy comes out of the pond and fishing.
They'll be like, is this you? And you're like,
well, move your mouth, man. They'll be like, boy, get out of here.
It's so funny. Dude. Oh, man, dude. So one of the crazy things recently, I think it was probably about a year ago now. I think it was November of last year, actually, previous year. Anyways, my parents have a farm up in North Dakota, right? And I asked them, I was like, let's start doing some social media content. I don't know what it's going to lead to, but I think people want to see this, right? Because when I was doing equipment videos in Texas, and they were like blowing up, again, 30, 40,000 views. So I was like, let's do this on the farm. So we started doing videos for like, it lasted for about a month. We had 2 million views within a month of posting like 17 pieces of content.
About just farm?
Just about the farm, like just different pieces of the farm. Like my mom would literally go out, shoot video, what they were doing for like 10 seconds. She would send it to me, I would edit it and throw it up on the farm with training audio and stuff, right?
Very close community.
Yeah.
I wanna invite you to my podcast too, and I wanna dig deep on all this stuff because this is fascinating to me because it's so different. Like I know nothing.
Yeah, well,
I can literally ask you like 50 questions,
and that's why I wanted to do it, because nobody knows about this farm, like farming, right? And my dad was actually he was like, shut it down. Well, I don't want the attention because they're very private people. And I was like, damn it, okay. So I had to like shut it down. But what's crazy is you were talking about your backpack. My hat is the same thinking process, right? Going out and standing out in the crowd. Funny thing that most people don't know, I'm super allergic to horses. So
yeah. So you're a fake cowboy.
No, I wouldn't say that. So
I've never heard of anybody be allergic to a horse. What is that? You can't touch him. You can't see him.
Yeah, it's like the
can ride them?
hair, and like there's a lot of like underlying hair and stuff that comes off horses, like the shedding of them. So I'm allergic to that like scent.
Wow.
But I would say I'm a cowboy, not a horse boy. Right, like I'm probably the most cowboy person you've ever met in your life.
Yeah, you're pretty cowboyish to me.
Yeah, once you realize that, like, I grew up on a farm with 1,500 head of cattle. Like,
wow.
I own ranches, I sell land. Like,
you got the belt. Can we show the belt? Come on.
I got the Texas belt.
God, look at that belt, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. No. You and I are so different, yet we've crossed paths. What do you attribute that to?
I think I attribute that to values, right? At the end of the day. So you and I probably have a lot of the same values where we like to give, we like to help, we like to create. Like I'm an artist at nature. Like I like to create things, and you like to create things. But like when I was in high school, I could have took shop class for 4 years in high school, or I could have took art. I decided to do art class for 4 years, right? Looking at me, you would be like, oh, this guy's an artist.
You were drawing,
painting, like
ceramics.
Yeah, everything.
The ghost.
I just loved creating things. Yeah. And my dad was always like, why don't you go to shop class? You know, you could still create, you could weld some shit up there. And I'm like, yeah, no, I like the art. I like the painting side.
Yeah, see, that's one more thing that I had no idea.
But I think you do that too, where you're like, you like to create probably a lot.
I like building like business, like, and sometimes like I take on, like my plate is full, and then I add a different component to it, and now my strategy, like even coming into this in here, this is like my third meeting of the day, and I have like 3 different things coming on, and I had to restructure. Okay, now the 12 move it over here. I can fit this if I go here, but I can't do 10 a.m. Can you do 11? And I'm like literally like fitting like Tetris. My life is a Tetris board.
Is that fun for you?
It keeps me like super going in my spirit, but in my mind. At some points, like when I need the reset button is when I get home and I turn on like a video game. And
what video games do you
Zelda.
play?
I'm a big Nintendo guy. I worked for Nintendo for a few years, and I'm a big Zelda guy. And then what trips me out is that Zelda has a file, and it tells you the last time you played. And so then I would pop it on and I'd be like, holy crap, like December 18, 2023. I was like, I've been playing in like 5.5 months. Like, and I think I just, I'm gonna leave it for like in the next weekend, whatever. Yep. And it's 5 months that I didn't have a chance to like pick up the controller again, because it's extremely like, and
yep.
Before the beginning of this year started, we had 26 conferences out of 52 weeks. So half of the year was already like taken up. And so when people asked at last minute, I was like, I can't like, and this morning another friend was like, hey, can you grab breakfast? I can't. He's like, I've asked you like the last 3 days. I was like, I'm not trying to be like a bad person, but I tried to like move things around so that people who are giving me sort of like the same, extending like kind of like the same value, like you're saying, then I'm able to put that into the time.
Yeah.
Because there's what people call, like some people are called like energy vampires. If you met people that after you hang out with them, you feel like more exhausted.
Yep.
And then there's people that when you hang out with them, I was like, man, like I want to do some push-ups after that. I want to go climb a mountain.
I don't think I've ever had that feeling, but
you gotta meet my friend George. Shout out to 40 over fitness, 40 plus over fitness. And it was George. I'm gonna tag you, dude. My friend, he's 45 years old. He's super jacked. No steroids, no nothing, just completely natural. And every time, like, I feel after him, he's like, just do something for yourself. And I do feel like that. Like he motivates me, he pushes me. And again, like I have a person that helps me like that mentally. Then I have a person that sends me like spiritual stuff. Then I have another person that I can bounce off business ideas. Then I have my group of friends where I just send stupid memes on my group chats, So like I try to keep everything.
Yeah. What about it? What about our relationship? How do you think you gravitate towards?
I think it's your drive. Like I was telling you, I notice you, and that makes it like, okay, he's doing something to stand out. And you are a tall guy, but you are representing something. Like, right, you're focused on what you're doing. I think when we met was one of these penthouse reunions where we're meeting, and just today, like I was asking you, like, hey, every time I see one of these penthouses, you're there, and you're like, well, I'm the one hosting, and I was like, that's an amazing idea because you're thinking ahead of the normal people. You're giving an opportunity for people to meet. That's genius. Like everybody wants to be part of the group,
Yep.
but nobody wants to create the opportunity for the group to get together. So you're giving the space like this place for people to come together.
Yep.
And you're doing it with me today, but then you're going to do it with multiple people, and then you're going to bring the community into it. So you're basically the connector, right? You're connecting. So you reached out, I reached out, and I mean, we've pretty much been like following each other for, I don't know, maybe a year now.
I think our very first picture, maybe we can throw it up.
We have a picture together somewhere.
Yeah, I have a picture of you. I think of us, and you're in.
I'll probably be wearing the same shit.
Yeah, you probably were. But I remember
not this.
You were like in the picture. You're like so happy. You're smiling, like a big smile. And I remember meeting you.
I don't laugh. I don't smile.
Yeah,
That's not
no,
true.
definitely not. But we were I think it was in my penthouse in Vegas because I got upgraded to this penthouse. It was one of the first parties I threw, like hosted this party. And it was completely by accident. We were supposed to go up to Ryan's penthouse. We went up and there was so packed. There was so many people in the room. It was super hot and sweaty.
Right.
And I went up to Ryan. I'm like, hey, dude, I got upgraded to a penthouse. Why don't we take half this party down to my room because it's so hot in here? And he's like,
that's how it started?
Yeah.
See, that's the universe putting things together.
Yeah. And he was like, dude, that's a great idea. He's like, tell everybody. And like, this room's packed. Everybody's there for Ryan. I'm like, dude, nobody's going to listen to me. And he's like, all right, well, all right, I'll say it, but get everybody's attention. And I'm like, hey, guys. And like, everybody's like, I'm like, hey, everybody listen up. And they're like, I'm like, everybody shut the fuck up.
I was in the room, man.
And then we're just like quiet, like silence fell over. Everybody looked at me and I'm like, Ryan has something to say.
He told me to do it.
And everybody started listening to Ryan and he's like, yeah, everybody's going down there, half the party. And I think over half the party left because it was so hot in the room.
Yeah, but do you remember like everyone was looking at each other was like, are you one of the ones who's staying? Or are you the one going? Like nobody knew what to do. And then a few people started leaving.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's too hot. And then 4 more. And then all of a sudden, like it kind of like it gave a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah.
But then both places were packed.
Yeah. Well, actually, that night cost me more than just the free upgrade. It actually cost me about $1,300 in mini fridge cost.
Oh, people were downing the stuff at the mini fridge.
People were going in. They're like, I don't know if they didn't know it was my room or whatever, but they were like going into the mini fridge because they just.
Yeah, I don't drink, so it wasn't me.
Yeah, no.
He's like, actually, here's your invoice.
I actually saw some people walking around with like shots and stuff, and I was like, all right, that guy's not my friend. You know, like even if it's Ryan's room, like you don't do that,
list.
right? Like everybody knows that those things cost like $25 a piece,
for
right?
for a little, peach schnapps or whatever. Yeah. That's cool. So yeah, so I think that attracted that you are driven, you bring people together, and I appreciate people that are kind of like-minded. Yeah. I also, this is probably my meticulous nature. I am attracted to something that I don't know anything about. So back in the day, I had a girlfriend that was like also grew up with horse and everything, and I knew nothing of anything. And when you speak about what you're doing, like my mind has like 10 follow-up questions because I know very little of it.
Yeah.
So I'm always interested in learning more about a person that does something so different than me.
Yeah. I've been
North Dakota, what is that like,
Yeah, no, it's funny you say that because I've been thinking about this for a little while now. And like, I really don't have anything to sell to people other than like, unless you want to buy a ranch, right? But most people that are
You don't have an OnlyFans.
Well,
what was that about?
I told you that we weren't going to talk about that. It's all feed pictures.
The OF profile. You're a feed finder too?
Yeah.
Wait, you must be on the farmers one. What's the farmers one?
Farmersonly.com. Yeah.
There is a farmers one.
Yeah. I should sponsor that. I should like have a
with your feed. You could be the feed farmers. Man, can we just combine the two sick people?
All right, getting back to what I was actually thinking. Feed
farmers. You heard it here first, folks. Feed farmers.
Feed farmers on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm actually thinking about doing, I really don't have anything to sell other than my OnlyFans feed farmers, but I'm thinking about maybe doing something like at the ranch in Texas or even at the ranch in North Dakota.
As welcoming people as a gathering?
Welcome people like as an event. Like, let us show you what farming's all about or ranching's all about. just kind of an experience, not really trying to like sell them on anything else, but just as an experience. So I've been thinking about that because I really don't have anything to promote right now. And not that I need anything to promote. Like I'm just very interested in talking to you and all of my other guests and like getting value, right? But it's something I'm kind of throwing around my head.
I think you should do it. You won't find out what it's like unless you do it. And it's just going to pester in your head.
Yep.
Like a pebble in your shoe until you reach down and take it out. Like it's just going to continue bothering you. At some points, you might not feel it.
Yep.
But then a week can go by, 2 weeks, and be like, that ranch idea, that ranch tour is a cool idea. Like, I think people would like it. So,
well, you have to come out, man. I appreciate you coming out. I want to do this again.
Awesome.
Maybe we'll do it at my ranch. Or in
all
your
right,
car.
let's do it. Or in my car.
Yeah.
We'll do both. All right, brother.
All right, man.
It's a pleasure meeting you again. You guys can find me on Instagram and different platforms at InstaChava. Chava's the name. InstaChava's the game. And
where do they find the car podcast?
The car podcast is called CEO in Motion, because I'm a CEO and I have a company called In Motion Media Group. And it's really a podcast. It's almost like a combination of carpool karaoke with business-driven concepts. So one of the girls did sing. So
really?
I have some guests that like the karaoke and the singing. But most of the conversation is about building a brand, building your business, success stories, failure stories. I learn a lot from people that are going through that. So CEO in Motion, you can just go on Instagram or you can go on YouTube and find the full episodes. And yeah, that's it, man.
When is Taylor Swift supposed to be on again?
Taylor Swift, that's undisclosed. Yeah, she's not around. Yeah.
I meant to.
We've got Beyonce first, man. So I got to bump her, a little bit. We're filming season 2 right now. I think next week is the final episode of season 1. So we're halfway through the filming. So we're like almost like a half a season to an entire season ahead. Yeah, it's really fun, man. You get in a Tesla, you get drive around up and down the strip,
and you have a cool Tesla.
Shit. Yeah, it changes colors.
Crazy. Yeah.
So it's fun. So I'll make sure the seat is reclined back for you, cowboy. And
take off the headrest. It's like more of my cowboy hat.
That'd be great. All right.
All right,
That's it, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Thank you.